What if the most feared warriors in the galaxy left one of their deadliest soldiers to die alone on a battlefield? Alone, wounded, and surrounded by destruction, this alien war dog faced certain death until humans appeared. But saving it was only the beginning. What happened next would shock even the most battle-hardened species. Watch as humans prove that courage, intelligence, and sheer determination can rewrite the rules of the universe. Don't blink, because once you see what happens, you will never underestimate humanity again. Hit play now and witness the impossible unfold. The battlefield lay under a sky of burning emerald. The clouds twisted as if the universe itself mourned the carnage below. Shattered starships floated like skeletons, their twisted metal creaking under the weight of an unseen wind. The ground, a mixture of blackened soil and alien crystalline shards, reflected an eerie light that danced across the battlefield. Amid the wreckage, a creature struggled. It was a war dog of the crawler species, massive, armored with iridescent plates that shimmered like liquid metal. Its 3 glowing eyes scanned the horizon, filled with intelligence, pain, and confusion. The crawler had fought for centuries for its own kind, yet now its allies had fled, leaving it to die in the alien storm of fire and jagged metal. Every growl it made was swallowed by the roar of plasma cannons and the distant thunder of collapsing ruins. Its claws dug into the jagged ground, sparking as they scraped over alien crystal. Every step it took was agony, yet it refused to collapse. It knew it would not survive, but instinct, pride, and something deeper, perhaps hope, kept it moving. Then the humans arrived. They did not appear like heroes from a storybook. They emerged through the smoke and jagged lightning, in armored exosuits that hissed and glowed with energy. Their eyes were steady, unafraid, scanning the battlefield with calculated precision. One of them, a human woman named Lieutenant Marcade, saw the crawler staggering among the debris. Her voice cut through the chaos like a sharp blade. "Hold still. We are not leaving anyone behind." The crawler froze, its instincts screaming distrust. Every creature it had ever known had abandoned it. Yet these humans moved closer, unwavering, shields raised and weapons ready. They approached with precision and courage that no alien could match. They were humans, and humans did not abandon the fallen. Mara and her squad worked with an efficiency that bordered on art. They lifted the war dog carefully, securing its massive frame to a hovering rescue sled. Energy shields flared against the falling debris, deflecting shards and plasma fire that would have ended the crawler in seconds. Its breathing slowed, and for the first time in hours it felt safety, strange, terrifying, yet undeniably real. As they moved back to their ship, the crawler's senses opened to the human's world. The smell of ozone and burning metal mixed with the faint warmth of human life. Every vibration in the ground resonated through its chest, and for the first time, it recognized something alien to its own species. Trust. The humans did not just fight for themselves. They fought to save those who could not save themselves. The sky above tore open as a fleet of shadowed alien dreadnoughts descended, their massive forms blotting out the remaining sun. They fired without hesitation, plasma streams cutting to the battlefield like liquid fire. Mara turned to Krolith, determination in her eyes. "You thought you were alone. You are not. Not ever." The humans unleashed a series of maneuvers no alien would expect. They danced across the battlefield with speed, intelligence, and unpredictability, their suits and ships using tactics that bent physics. Plasma deflected, grav field disruptors twisted enemy formation, and missiles moved in arcs that seemed impossible. Every move screamed human uniqueness. Ingenuity forged from desperation, courage, and relentless spirit. The Krolith, once alone, now rose on unsteady legs as humans covered it. It felt the heat of their weapons' fire, the shaking of the ground under alien artillery, and a strange surge inside it. Strength borrowed from these indomitable creatures. Its growl changed, no longer one of fear, but one of recognition. Survival was possible. Mara smiled through her helmet, her voice calm but firm. "Do not just survive. Fight. Show them why we are here." The Krolith's claws sank into the ground. It roared, and the sound resonated across the battlefield, a rallying cry that even aliens could sense. Humans and Krolith fought side by side, a new alliance born not from duty, but from courage and mutual respect. The alien dreadnoughts hesitated for a fraction of a second. It was all humans needed. With strategy, firepower, and sheer audacity, they turned the impossible tide into an opening, a path through which the wounded could escape and the war dog could survive. The battlefield was far from over, but one truth had been written in blood and fire. Humans did not abandon anyone. They faced the universe's horrors not with fear, but with intelligence, courage, and the unwavering will to prevail. And the Kralith, once abandoned, now understood the impossible. Humans were not just allies. They were a force of nature in the galaxy, unstoppable when they chose to act. The Kralith moved as if reborn, its massive frame shaking off exhaustion, muscles rippling under the alien armor plates. Its 3 eyes scanned the horizon, registering the silhouettes of more dreadnoughts emerging from the shattered rift in space-time. The humans did not flinch. Mara's squad repositioned with tactical precision, their exosuits thrumming with power, weapons charging as the battlefield itself answered their will. Formation Delta, Mara barked, voice cutting through the storm of alien fire. Use the gravity corridors. Keep the Kralith covered. No one falls behind. The ground trembled beneath their feet, cracked and jagged, but human ingenuity turned it into an advantage. Exopads on their boots magnetized the fragments of metal, allowing acrobatic leaps over molten fissures. Energy pulses from alien artillery struck nearby, and sparks rained like deadly fireworks. Yet the humans moved as if choreographed, each motion perfectly synchronized. The Kralith hesitated for a moment, its instincts screaming that it was overmatched. It had faced thousands of enemies in its long life, but never such beings. Humans fought not merely with weapons, but with an understanding of fear and chance that no alien code could anticipate. They predicted attacks before they came, adapted instantly, and turned the battlefield itself into a weapon. A shadow tore across the sky, a massive alien behemoth, wings spanning hundreds of meters, energy tendrils snapping like whips. The squad froze, knowing a single strike from the creature could crush them. Mara's voice cut through the tension, calm yet electrifying. Focus fire on the tendrils. Disable, do not destroy. Draw it closer. Everyone ready. The humans moved as one. Missiles and plasma bolts arced in impossible trajectories, laced with timing so precise it seemed choreographed by destiny itself. The Kralith, sensing their plan, lunged forward, claws tearing through debris, and with a roar, it slashed at the enemy's flank. The behemoth faltered, its tendrils snapping harmlessly into fractured ground, giving the humans a fraction of a second to strike again. In that fraction, Mara activated the grav field disruptor. The weapon unleashed a shockwave that bent space around the creature, slowing its movements without harming the surrounding battlefield. It shrieked in alien fury, wings thrashing, and humans used that momentum to leap from cover to cover, each step precise, fearless, brilliant. The Kralith, emboldened, roared again. Its voice carried across the battlefield, shaking the enemy's formations. It was no longer abandoned. It was part of something larger, something unstoppable. Humans had proven to the universe, once again, that courage was not measured by size or power, but by ingenuity, heart, and will. Yet, danger was far from over. From the rift, a series of ancient war engines emerged, relics older than human history. Each pulsated with a strange black energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. They are not just fighting, Mara whispered into her comms, voice steady but tinged with awe. They are alive, sentient. They feel our presence. The squad braced, scanning patterns in the Engine's energy signatures. Humans did not panic. They analyzed, adapted, and exploited weaknesses invisible to the alien mind. The Kralitha's massive frame twisted, dodging debris and explosions, while Mara's squad set traps using the battlefield itself. Shards of alien crystal refracted energy back toward the engines. Gravity pulses warped their trajectories. Explosions were timed to amplify one another in perfect synchronization. One engine fell, black energy dispersing into the void like a dying storm. Another moved closer, tendrils of dark power seeking the humans. Mara grinned behind her helmet. Not fast enough, she said, deploying an EMP grenade with a flick of her wrist. It struck the engine, not destroying it, but sending circuits into chaos, turning its own power against it. The battlefield became a symphony of human brilliance. Explosions, plasma fire, and alien shrieks collided with the Kralata's roars. Every move, calculated and bold, showcased human strength, their ability to think, adapt, and fight with creativity that no alien force could predict. The Kralath paused near Mara, sensing a bond forming. It growled softly, a sound of gratitude and recognition. Its claws dug into the jagged terrain, pulling loose shards that hurled at enemies with precision it never knew it possessed. Humans had not only saved it, they had inspired it. Suddenly, the ground quaked violently. A massive crater opened near the squad, glowing with an otherworldly light. From it, figures emerged, ancient guardians, their forms shrouded in energy older than the stars. They towered over the battlefield, their presence radiating power that bent light and reality itself. Mara's eyes narrowed, determination burning brighter. Ancient powers or not, we are not leaving this place. Not one of us. Not our friend. The humans charged, not blindly, but with intellect and strategy. They lured the Guardians into the shattered terrain, using reflective shards to redirect energy beams. The Kralath leapt, striking in tandem with humans, each strike calculated, each movement precise. It was a dance of survival, courage, and brilliance, showcasing why humans were feared and respected across the galaxy. One Guardian fell, energy dissipating a wave of light and sound that rattled the remaining forces. Another approached, tendrils of energy reaching for the humans. Mara smiled. Now, a coordinated strike, a combination of plasma, grav fields, and Kralath power, shattered the Guardian's defenses. It fell, not defeated by brute force alone, but by the combination of intelligence, courage, and adaptability that humans brought to the fight. The remaining dreadnoughts hesitated, sensing that their prey was no ordinary species. The humans moved forward, relentless, defying odds and expectations. They were not just survivors. They were predators, strategists, and innovators, proving that the galaxy's threats were no match for human ingenuity and courage. The Kralath ran alongside them, instincts sharpened, fueled by the humans' bravery. It had tasted abandonment and despair, yet now it experienced trust, loyalty, and the raw thrill of survival alongside a species that refused to quit. Mara's calm crackled, voice calm but commanding. All units, regroup at Point Omega. Prepare for extraction. The rift is destabilizing. They move with precision, navigating crumbling terrain, alien energy fields, and low gravity anomalies. Every human step displayed adaptation and intelligence. Every move challenged the universe's expectations. The Kralath glanced back at the battlefield, sensing the enormity of what humans had accomplished. They had turned the impossible into a survival dance. They had faced ancient powers, alien dreadnoughts, and a storm of chaos, and come out not just alive, but triumphant. As the extraction point came into view, the humans deployed energy barriers, deflecting falling debris and plasma fire. The Kralath followed, now fully synchronized with the humans' movements, each instinct aligned with their tactical brilliance. A final shockwave from a collapsing starship threatened to crush the squad. Mara extended a hand toward the Kralath, signaling it to leap. With a synchronized effort, humans and Kralath soared through the air, landing inside the extraction vessel as the battlefield behind them imploded in fire and light. Inside the vessel, as engines powered up and they ascended to the smoke-filled sky, the Kralath exhaled a sound of disbelief and awe. It had survived. It had fought alongside beings who redefined courage, intelligence, and loyalty. Mara placed a hand on the creature's armored shoulder. "You are not alone," she said simply. "And neither are we." The stars stretched ahead, endless and dangerous. But humans had proven once more that no universe, no alien power, and no ancient force could match their resolve. They had adapted, fought, and survived where others would perish. And the Kralath knew this truth now. Wherever humans went, hope followed. Where humans fought, survival was possible. Where humans existed, the impossible became attainable. The vessel punched through the remnants of the rift, leaving the battlefield behind in a haze of smoke, fire, and shattered alien dreams. Yet even as they left, the universe had taken note. It had seen humans defy death, challenge ancient powers, and rise where all others had fallen. And somewhere deep within the Kralath's core, Something new had awakened, a bond, a loyalty, and a burning recognition that the humans it once feared now represented the most formidable force it had ever encountered. The stars ahead were filled with unknown threats, ancient powers, and civilizations beyond imagination. Yet for the first time, the Kralith did not feel fear. It felt purpose. And alongside humans, it would face a universe, unbroken, unbowed, and unstoppable. The stars stretched endlessly outside the extraction vessel's viewport, like shards of diamond frozen in black velvet. The Kralith moved cautiously along the deck, each massive paw thudding against a metallic floor, echoing like distant thunder. It could still feel the battlefield's tremors in its bones, the shattering roar of collapsing alien war machines, the acrid scent of scorched metal, and the faint pulse of residual energy from the rift. It had survived, and it had humans to thank. But survival was only the beginning. Mara stood at the bridge, her eyes scanning the holographic displays, every muscle in her body taut with anticipation. "We are not out of danger," she said, voice steady. "The rift is unstable. Something is coming through." The Kralitha's ears twitched at the words. It sensed the change immediately. The air thickened, charged with energy that made its armored plates hum. It was a premonition older than memory, primal and undeniable. Then the first shadow appeared. It moved through the rift like liquid smoke, stretching across the void, a shape impossible for any biological creature yet somehow alive. The humans did not panic. They reacted. Lieutenant Cade tapped a sequence on the bridge console, and the vessel shuddered as cloaking shields activated, blending them with the void outside. Sensors flared, tracking the alien shadow's movements, revealing pulses of energy it emitted. The creature was massive, far larger than any dreadnought. It moved with intelligence, adapting to every environmental variable, anticipating attack patterns, and probing the humans with an alien awareness. The Kralith growled low in its throat. It had fought cunning enemies before, but this was something different. It could feel the being's mind, not in words, but in intent. Predator, observer, judge. Mara's voice broke the tension. "Prepare all defensive measures. Activate drone swarms. Lock targeting grids on its energy signature." The humans worked with synchronization that defied expectation. Drones deployed, buzzing across the vessel like swarming hornets, their laser rays forming a lattice of fire. Energy shields hummed, flaring in response to Shadow's probing attacks. Missiles fired in arcs calculated to collide mid-flight, detonating to disrupt the alien energy field without risking the ship. The Shadow recoiled, not destroyed, but delayed. It tested, probed, learned. Mara smiled faintly. "Exactly as we expected. Adapt, then attack. Let's see who learns faster." The Kralith leapt to the upper deck, claws digging into the vessel's hull, sensing its own potential in tandem with humans. It could feel the synergy, its strength multiplied by their intellect, its instinct guided by their strategy. It roared, and the sound vibrated through the ship, a signal, a warning. The alien shadow shifted, coalescing into a form more tangible, limbs extended in impossible angles, claws slicing through the vacuum like they obeyed no physics. Its head, if it could be called that, turned, revealing eyes of liquid void, endless, infinite, and observing. Mara did not flinch. "Bring it close," she ordered. Her voice carried authority, certainty, and a calm no creature could ignore. The humans executed their plan flawlessly. Grav field disruptors bent the Shadow's trajectory, forcing it into a confined zone near the vessel. Energy tethers locked it in place, not to trap it permanently, but to manipulate its momentum. Plasma cannons fired, not at its core, but at points calculated to destabilize its form. The Shadow screamed, or at least the Kralith interpreted it as a scream, echoing through space in a soundless wave that rattled nerves and circuits alike. Yet the humans did not relent. From the lower deck, engineers deployed kinetic shock pods. They detonated around the Shadow, sending pulses that rippled through its energy form. The creature staggered, adjusting, but the humans adapted again, exploiting every fraction of a second it overextended. The Kralith lunged, claws extended, striking in concert with the humans' attacks. It shattered one of the creature's appendages, energy sparks scattering in bursts of iridescent light. For the first time, the Shadow hesitated, reconsidering the fight. Mara's voice cut through the comms. Now, full synchronization. Every weapon, every system, every mind. The vessel became a weapon of human ingenuity. Missiles wove through space. Drones circled like coordinated predators. Shields flared in perfect timing, and the crawlers struck with unrelenting ferocity. Every action displayed something the universe could not anticipate. Human creativity combined with determination and raw courage. The shadows shrieked, and a pulse of dark energy slammed into the ship, bending metal and distorting reality. The crawler roared, absorbing the shock, using its body to shield a section of the crew. It had learned from the humans. It had become a part of their strategy, a weapon and companion in one. Mara's hands flew across the control panel, rerouting power, recalibrating shields, and firing all available systems at precise intervals. Her eyes reflected determination and calculation. The Shadow's intelligence was vast, but human adaptability exceeded it in unexpected ways. Energy coils flared and weapons fired simultaneously. A chain reaction erupted, sending shards of alien matter spinning across the void, some colliding with the Shadow, others ricocheting harmlessly. Yet it was enough. The Shadow reeled, its form destabilizing, tendrils collapsing, energy dissipating. It let out a final, impossible sound, a mixture of recognition and fury, and retreated into the rift. The vessel shuddered, alarms blaring. But humans cheered quietly, fists raised, and eyes shining with triumph. The crawlith lowered its massive head, exhaustion evident in every motion, yet it exhaled a sound of awe. It had witnessed something unprecedented. Humans defeating a creature far beyond conventional comprehension. Mara approached, her suit scorched, energy shields flickering. "You see," she said softly, placing a hand on the crawlith's shoulder, "in every impossible situation, in every battle where the odds are against us, humans adapt, we endure, and we fight." The crawlith growled, a deep vibration of approval, and nudged its massive head against her hand. Trust had transformed into respect, fear into admiration. It understood now that humans were not just survivors. They were catalysts, agents of change in the galaxy, capable of rewriting the rules of engagement. Beyond the vessel, the stars burned cold and distant, indifferent to the battle. Yet humans had carved their mark into the universe. They had fought impossible enemies, faced ancient forces, and proven their strength, courage, and ingenuity. Mara activated the ship's warp drive, punching through the remnants of the destabilizing rift. The vessel trembled as space itself twisted around them, but humans thrived in chaos. They understood that control was not about power. It was about intelligence, coordination, and relentless spirit. The crawlers settled near the bridge, watching humans work with awe. It sensed the vastness of what lay ahead. Alien civilizations, cosmic storms, relics older than stars themselves. And yet it felt no fear. Because humans had shown it that fear was meaningless when courage, creativity, and determination ruled. Through the viewport, the universe stretched, dangerous and magnificent. Nebulas glowed with ethereal light, asteroid fields loomed like jagged teeth, and distant planets shimmered with untapped resources and unknown threats. Mara looked at her crew, exhaustion lining their faces, but fire in their eyes. We are not explorers. We are guardians, survivors, innovators. The universe will learn to fear and respect humans, because we do not quit, we do not abandon, and we never yield. The crawler growled in agreement, a sound that resonated with the human declaration. It had lived through betrayal and abandonment, yet now it understood loyalty, courage, and the unshakable will of the species that could redefine survival itself. Suddenly, the sensors picked up movement, not distant, not far away. Something massive was approaching at speeds beyond conventional measurement. Mara's eyes narrowed, her lips curling into a smile. "Good," she said. "Let them come. We are ready." The crawlith's eyes flared, claws digging into the floor with anticipation. It had never felt such a rush, such clarity. It had found its place among humans, and together nothing could stand in their way. Outside, the approaching shadow shimmered with impossible energy. It was faster, smarter, and older than anything they had encountered. Yet humans did not falter. Every crew member manned their stations. Every system synced into a symphony of calculated precision. The crawler stood ready, a living weapon and guardian. Its instincts honed by humans' teachings. The first strike came in a wave of dark energy, tearing through space with a roar that made stars themselves seem to shiver. The humans countered instantly, redirecting shields, firing plasma torrents, and deploying drone swarms in patterns the alien could not predict. The crawler leapt into action, its massive body colliding with the enemy's tendrils, absorbing impacts and striking with calculated ferocity. It moved in harmony with humans, a living testament to what collaboration and courage could achieve. Energy collided, metal screeched, and the universe itself seemed to pause, bearing witness to the audacity of humans and the bond they had forged with a creature once abandoned. Mara's voice cut through the chaos, commanding, unwavering, almost prophetic. Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans conquer. And the crawler understood, with every fiber of its being, that the impossible could be made real when humans fought together. The stars blurred into streaks of light as the warp engine screamed, carrying the vessel deeper into uncharted space. The crawler pressed itself against the floor, massive claws leaving faint impressions in the metallic deck. It sensed something shifting in the void, something ancient, something older than any creature it had ever known. Mara moved across the bridge with deliberate precision, eyes scanning a multitude of holographic displays. An energy signature, she said, her voice steady, her mind already calculating. It does not belong to any known civilization, human or alien. It is immense, and it is awake. The crawler's ears twitched, and its 3 eyes flared as the vessel approached a massive gravitational anomaly. Stars warped, space itself twisted, and a colossal structure loomed from the darkness, towering monoliths etched with patterns that burned with energy older than time. Ancient constructs, Mara whispered, awe in her voice, built before recorded history, possibly by beings long extinct or sleeping. And they are waking. The humans did not hesitate. Where other species might have faltered, paralyzed by fear or superstition, they acted. Engineers rerouted power, calibrating shields to withstand unknown energy. Weapon systems hummed, ready to respond with adaptability the ancient forces could not anticipate. Every crew member moved with purpose, their minds converging into a singular force of precision and strategy. The crawler rose to its full height, armor plates gleaming under the ship's lights. It could feel the pulse of the constructs, a heartbeat that reverberated through the vacuum. It growled low in warning, instinctively sensing the danger, yet strangely aware of a path forward. Mara's hands danced over the controls, rerouting drone swarms into intricate formations. Each drone fired bursts of energy calculated not merely to strike, but to disrupt, confuse, and study the ancient construct's response patterns. It was a form of intelligence warfare, and humans were unparalleled masters of it. The constructs awakened fully, enormous arms of energy extending toward the vessel. They struck with precision, cutting through space as if to test, to measure, to judge. Mara's voice cut through the alarms. Focus on the patterns. They are testing us. They want to see if we adapt. The humans responded instantly, adjusting shields, redirecting weapons, and exploiting minute delays in the construct's movements. The crawler leapt onto bridge ceiling, claws digging into the reinforced hull as it dodged energy strikes, moving with grace impossible for its massive size. It had learned from humans. It was no longer just a warrior. It was part of a strategic system, a living weapon in concert with minds capable of bending reality to their will. One of the constructs released a wave of energy that tore through space, bending the ship's trajectory. Mara's instincts kicked in. She initiated a countermeasure, deploying reactive grav field arrays, bending the energy back toward the construct. It recoiled, unprepared for such ingenuity. Humans had turned their own physics against them. The crawler growled and leapt, striking the construct's massive arm, sending sparks of ancient energy scattering across the void. It was terrifying, yet exhilarating, and the humans' minds worked in tandem with the creature, orchestrating a ballet of violence and strategy. Then, the first of the construct's true defenses activated. Energy tendrils shot out with lethal speed, each pulse capable of disintegrating metal, armor, and bone. The vessel shuddered violently as the shields absorbed impact, but Mara did not flinch. "Every hit tells us something," she said, voice calm amidst chaos. Every strike is data. Adapt, anticipate, survive. The humans recalibrated instantly, adjusting drone patterns and weapon outputs to match the construct's rhythm. The Krolith moved alongside them. Each strike it made synchronized with the ship's maneuvers. Each roar a signal, a warning, a declaration of defiance. One drone intercepted a tendril, detonating with precision and redirecting energy into the construct's core. The ancient being staggered, momentarily destabilized. Mara seized the opportunity, firing a series of plasma bursts into weak points identified by predictive calculations. The construct reeled back, energy patterns flickering. But it was not defeated. It was testing, measuring, learning. The Krolith lunged, slashing with ferocity, and Mara's squad followed in a synchronized counterattack. The vessel itself became a weapon, a combination of human ingenuity, technological mastery, and raw determination. Every move displayed an intelligence that could not be predicted, a courage that could not be intimidated. Suddenly, a ripple tore through the ship, and the Krolith was thrown against the hull. It roared, claws digging into metal to prevent further sliding. Mara recalculated instantly, rerouting energy to stabilize the vessel, while simultaneously locking targeting grids on the construct's core. "Prepare for Phase 2, she shouted. "Engage all auxiliary systems." Every calculation must be perfect. The humans moved as one. Plasma cannons fired in staggered arcs. Drone swarms maneuvered to create overlapping fields of fire, and the Krolith struck repeatedly, exploiting weaknesses revealed in the construct's reactions. It was a display of human ingenuity amplified by sheer willpower and courage. The construct faltered, staggering under the onslaught, but it was not finished. A deep hum resonated from its core, and the entire space around the vessel twisted, gravity bending and light itself distorting. Stars elongated into streaks of color, and the ship's instruments began to fail under the strain. Mara's voice was calm, unwavering. "Remember what we are. Adapt, survive, and fight. The universe does not break humans. We break its rules." The Krolith roared in agreement, leaping onto the hull, claws sinking into energy fields, absorbing shocks and redistributing them strategically. It had become more than a weapon. It was an extension of human will. The construct's tendrils lashed outward again, faster, sharper, more deadly. But the humans anticipated each strike. They adjusted drone swarms in real time, deployed energy dispersal fields, and fired plasma bursts in arcs calculated to destabilize, not destroy. Every move was precise, intelligent, and unpredictable. Then Mara did something unprecedented. She combined the vessel's warp engines with energy from the grav field disruptors, creating a localized distortion that amplified their offensive systems exponentially. The construct faltered, unable to predict such a maneuver. The Krolith leapt, striking the construct's core, and a wave of energy erupted, shaking the surrounding space. It was not destructive. It was intelligent, surgical, precise. The humans had shown that brute force was not necessary. Strategy, adaptability, and courage were weapons far superior to anything the ancient constructs had anticipated. The construct reeled, its form flickering like a dying star. It pulsed once, a soundless vibration that echoed across the vessel, as if acknowledging the human's dominance. Mara exhaled, voice calm but triumphant. "They learn, but humans learn faster." The Krolith growled, its armored plates glittering with energy. It had fought beside humans through fire, plasma, ancient powers, and impossible odds. It had learned trust, loyalty, and the indomitable strength of a species that refused to yield. The vessel surged forward, warp engines flaring, carrying humans and their war dog companion deeper into the unknown. Beyond them, the constructs receded into the void, not destroyed, but thoroughly studied, outmatched, and forced to respect the audacity of human intelligence. The stars stretched ahead, filled with dangers yet unseen. Cosmic storms, alien empires, and relics older than memory awaited them. Yet humans did not fear. They adapted. They fought. They thrived. Mara turned to the Krolith, a faint smile behind her visor. "You survived because you did not give up," she said softly. "You survived because you trusted humans. And together, nothing can stop us." The Krolith exhaled, a sound of relief, awe, and newfound purpose. It understood now that humans were not just warriors. They were catalysts, agents of change in the galaxy, unstoppable when united by intelligence, courage, and heart. Beyond the viewport, the universe awaited, infinite, perilous, and unyielding. But humans had proven their place among the stars. They were unmatched in ingenuity, relentless in courage, and unbreakable in will. And the Kralith, once abandoned, would follow them through every impossible challenge, every ancient threat, and every corner of the galaxy. Because humans did not abandon. Humans did not falter. Humans defined the impossible. And the universe will remember it forever. The next sector loomed ahead, shrouded in darkness, swirling energy and whispers of civilizations long dead yet alive in the shadows. Mara exhaled slowly, fingers tightening on the control panel. "Let's see what else the universe has," she said. "And let it see us." The Kralitha's eyes glowed, claws flexing, armored plates humming. It was ready. It was part of human story now. A story written not in fear, but in courage, intelligence, and defiance. The vessel surged forward, and the stars themselves seemed to bend, acknowledging the unstoppable force that was human ingenuity and will. The vessel surged through the void, leaving the shattered constructs behind. But the universe was far from forgiving. Ahead, a massive nebula stretched across the stars, glowing with violet and gold streaks that seemed to pulse with life. Sensors flared, warning of gravitational anomalies, high-energy fields, and movement too fast to track conventionally. Mara's hands moved across the console with fluid precision, rerouting power, adjusting shields, and preparing for whatever waited. "This sector is active," she said, voice calm but tinged with urgency. "Readings indicate multiple civilizations, all long dead, yet their energy signatures remain. It is like stepping into a graveyard that is not quiet." The Kralith pressed its massive body against the floor, its eyes tracking every fluctuation on the sensors. It could feel the nebula's pulse, a living rhythm that resonated through space, almost sentient, almost aware of their passage. The smell of ionized gas, though not perceptible to humans, seemed to vibrate through the creature's senses, and the hairs along its spine bristled with anticipation. Mara turned to the crew. "Everyone, full alert. This is not just a passage. It is a test. Sensors are showing readings inconsistent with natural physics. We are likely to encounter active defense mechanisms." The vessel shuddered as the first attack struck. Not a missile or plasma blast, but something deeper, an energy pulse that bent gravity around them, pulling the ship in multiple directions simultaneously. The crew gritted their teeth, muscles taut as every station recalibrated instantly. Humans did not panic. Humans adapted. The Kralith leapt to the upper deck, claws digging into metallic walls to stabilize itself. It growled low, sensing the attack's pattern, and instinctively moved to counter, aligning its body with the ship's directional thrust to absorb some of the energy. It was learning from humans, and humans were learning from it. Mara tapped a sequence on the bridge, engaging the auxiliary grav field emitters. The ship's hull warped slightly, bending the energy pulses around them instead of absorbing them directly. The nebula's pulse responded, twisting, shifting, as if it sensed a defiance of humans. It was alive, ancient, and infinitely intelligent, but humans were faster in thought, more unpredictable than any force it had encountered. Suddenly, the nebula convulsed. From its heart, massive, translucent vessels emerged, their hulls etched with runes that glowed with energy older than stars. The designs were unfamiliar, angular yet organic, and they pulsed with a rhythm that seemed to anticipate human reactions. Mara's voice was calm, authoritative. "They are not hostile yet, but they are assessing us. Maintain formation and show intent to survive. Human adaptation is our weapon." The Kralith growled, low and resonant, as one of the vessels extended a tendril of light, probing the area around the human ship. It moved like liquid metal, precise, fast, and seemingly intelligent. Mara's fingers flew over the console. "Deploy drones, not to attack, but to study. We cannot fight what we do not understand. Adapt first, then counter." Drones swarmed into the nebula's heart, weaving through gravitational distortions and energy pulses, transmitting data back instantly. The human crew analyzed patterns, predicted responses, and created a strategy in real time. The Crawlith leapt again, striking one of the tendrils that had come too close, claws sinking into it, and the vessel's sensors recorded the impact, yielding data for humans to exploit. One of the alien vessels pulsed suddenly, a wave of energy that threatened to collapse the ship. Mara activated the vessel's warp anchors, bending space around them to absorb the shock. The Crawlith roared, stabilizing part of the ship with its immense body. Every action screamed human ingenuity, the combination of intellect, courage, and adaptability that no alien could predict. Then a voice, or something like a voice, vibrated through the ship's hull. Not sound, but thought. Direct, ancient. It filled minds, touched hearts, and threatened to overwhelm the senses. "You are intruders," it said, a presence older than the galaxy itself. "Why do you survive where others fall?" Mara did not hesitate. "We survive because we fight. We survive because we adapt. We survive because we are human." The presence pulsed in response, analyzing, testing, probing. The Crawlith growled, instinctively aligning with the humans, understanding their courage as its own. It had faced betrayal, abandonment, and despair, but humans had shown it loyalty, strategy, and indomitable will. The nebula vessels moved closer, testing the humans' limits. Gravitational anomalies twisted, energy pulses tore through the void, and spatial distortions threatened to trap the ship. But humans were masters of adaptation. The ship twisted, engines recalibrated in real time, and drones created overlapping fields of predictive countermeasures. The Crawlith roared, leaping, striking tendrils, and feeding the results back to the human sensors through impact readings. Together, they became a single organism of intelligence, strength, and courage. Suddenly, a massive portal opened within the nebula, revealing a city suspended in the void. Towers of black metal and glowing crystals stretched impossibly, their tops disappearing into the nebula's energy storms. Ships smaller than the human vessel darted between spires, their speed unmatched by any human technology. Mara's eyes narrowed. Ancient civilization, active, and, judging by their technology, intelligent enough to consider us a threat. The Crawlith growled low, sensing movement, tension, and opportunity. It had survived betrayal on one planet, abandonment on another battlefield, and now it faced ancient intelligence alongside humans, and it trusted them implicitly. Mara's hands moved with precision, deploying drones in new patterns, using the gravitational anomalies to mask the ship's movements. "Their sensors are tuned to conventional energy readings," she said. "We will appear as part of the nebula itself. Invisible, adaptive, unpredictable." The ship twisted, warped, and flowed like liquid metal, dodging tendrils of energy and the smaller vessels that surged toward them. The Crawlith leapt repeatedly, striking, destabilizing, and feeding humans real-time tactical data. Every strike, every movement, every adjustment was a testament to human intelligence and the bond between species. Then the city vessel stopped. They hovered, pulsing, analyzing, calculating, as if the humans had passed some unspoken test. The Crawlith growled softly, sensing the moment. It had survived the battlefield alone. It had survived ancient constructs, and now it faced a civilization older than history itself. Yet it did not fear. Mara's voice rang across the bridge. "Do not fire. Let them learn we are capable, adaptable, and fearless. Let them see humans in action." The Crawlith roared in affirmation, leaping onto the hull, armored plates gleaming under the nebula's light. It had learned trust, strategy, and courage from humans, and now it would show the galaxy that humans did not merely survive. They defined the impossible. A pulse of energy washed over the ship, and for a moment, the crew felt the weight of centuries pressing against them. Ancient minds, civilizations long extinct, and powers beyond comprehension were testing them. Yet humans adapted instantly, analyzing, predicting, and countering. The Crawlith lunged again, claws sinking into the hull as energy tendrils lashed out. It roared, a sound amplified by the ship's structure, reverberating into the void. Humans responded in perfect harmony, missiles detonating in patterns that created feedback loops in the alien energy fields, destabilizing them without destruction. The Nebula City vessels pulsed, paused, and then withdrew slightly. They were not defeated, but they had learned respect, acknowledgement of the species that could bend strategy, technology, and courage into a force beyond comprehension. Mara exhaled slowly, voice steady but filled with awe. "The universe is vast, endless, and dangerous," she said. "But humans adapt. Humans endure. Humans do not abandon. And they do not yield." The Kralith pressed close to her, armored head nudging her gently. It had learned the ultimate lesson. Humans did not just survive. They taught others a meaning of perseverance, courage, and intelligence. Outside, the nebula pulsed gently, alive, aware, yet hesitant to attack further. Humans and their war dog companion had proven a point. Unpredictability, courage, and creativity could outmatch even the oldest and most powerful forces. The vessel surged onward, deeper into the nebula, past ancient sentinels, through gravitational storms, and toward uncharted sectors. The universe awaited, filled with relics, civilizations, and challenges far beyond imagination. Mara's eyes glimmered behind her visor. "Let them come," she said. "We are ready." The Kralith roared in agreement, claws digging into the deck, ready for the next impossible challenge. It had survived abandonment, betrayal, and the unimaginable. And now, alongside humans, it would face the galaxy itself and survive again. Because humans did not abandon. Humans did not yield. Humans defined the impossible. The nebula stretched before them like a living cathedral of gas and light, swirling violet and gold, illuminated from within by storms of energy that hummed and pulsed in rhythms older than memory. Mara's hands danced across the bridge controls, rerouting shield output, analyzing energy fluctuations, and predicting spatial distortions. The ship shuddered as localized gravity waves rippled across its hull. The Kralith pressed its massive frame against the deck, claws leaving deep gouges as it adjusted to the shifting forces. It could feel the nebula's pulse, each beat resonating through its bones, alerting it to hidden dangers a crew could not yet detect. Multiple energy signatures approaching fast, Mara said, eyes scanning the sensors. Smaller than the city vessels, but organized. They are coordinated, highly coordinated. The Kralith growled low, a warning reverberating through the ship. Its three eyes scanned the approaching fleet. Hundreds of smaller vessels, their hulls semi-transparent, glowing with pale light. They moved like a school of predators, fluid, synchronized, and intelligent. The nebula itself seemed to guide them. Mara's jaw tightened. Prepare countermeasures. Not to destroy them yet. Study, adapt, learn. We cannot underestimate them. The first wave struck. Energy pulses tore through the void, lashing at the vessel. Shields flared, absorbing the blows. But the Kralith felt each vibration as if the universe itself had struck it. It leapt to the walls and ceiling of the bridge, claws digging into metal, muscles coiled, ready to act. Mara's squad moved in flawless coordination. Drones deployed, weaving through gravitational turbulence, relaying instant data. Weapons fired in arcs calculated to intercept and destabilize, not merely destroy. Humans did not panic. They adapted, every motion precise, every decision deliberate. The fleet recoiled slightly, reading the humans' movements. It was learning, probing for weaknesses, but humans were unpredictable, creative, and fearless. The Kralith roared, slashing at tendrils of energy that reached for the ship, destabilizing several enemy vessels. The roar echoed across the nebula, amplified by energy currents, a sound both terrifying and inspiring. Mara adjusted the ship's trajectory, weaving through a storm of ionized gas. "Follow my lead," she commanded. The crew synchronized perfectly, moving as a single organism. The Kralith mirrored every maneuver, using its bulk to shield vulnerable areas, and striking precisely where humans calculated the enemy was weakest. The first significant victory came in the form of a small vessel crashing into the nebula's gaseous core. The explosion sent ripples through the surrounding energy fields, disrupting enemy formation. Mara's grin was fleeting but fierce. Adapt and exploit. Every misstep they make is a lesson for us. The Kralith roared in agreement, pounding the deck in approval. It had been abandoned on battlefield before, left to die under alien fire. Yet here it was, fighting beside humans, its instincts sharpened by their guidance. It had learned that survival was not merely strength or size. It was intelligence, courage, and the ability to adapt faster than any opponent. From deeper within the nebula, a shadow stirred. Not a vessel, not a creature, but a presence, ancient, vast, and incomprehensible. The sensors flickered as if reality itself resisted observation. Mara's eyes narrowed. This is something else entirely, something that predates the galaxy. The Kralith growled, feeling the weight of the presence in its chest. It was not fear, it was recognition. The universe itself was testing them. The presence moved, vast current of energy coalescing into a shape, a form that suggested intelligence without physicality. It was a sentient storm, a consciousness that spanned kilometers, a force older than stars. Its attention centered on the human vessel. It was curious. It was measuring. Mara exhaled slowly, steadying herself. "Show them who we are," she said, voice low but resolute. "Humans do not flee. Humans do not cower. Humans survive, and they adapt faster than any universe expects." The ship shuddered as the presence extended tendrils of pure energy, probing, testing, and weighing them. The Kralith leapt, smashing into one tendril, scattering it like a coil of living lightning. Humans responded immediately, adjusting shields, firing plasma bursts, and deploying drones in intricate patterns that disrupted the sentient storm's calculations. It pulsed in surprise, a wave of energy so vast that the Kralith felt it reverberate in its armored plates. Humans did not panic. They adapted. They analyzed patterns, predicted weaknesses, and created chaos in the storm's rhythm. A second wave of nebula-borne vessels arrived, faster, sharper, and more coordinated than the first. But humans anticipated them. Mara deployed overlapping gravitational distortions, sending enemy vessels careening into one another. The Kralith leapt from hull to hull, smashing tendrils and striking with precision calculated in tandem with human strategy. It roared, a sound of triumph and challenge, letting the universe know that humans were a force that refused to yield. The sentient storm pulsed, adjusting its own strategy. Energy flows twisted, currents shifted, and the nebula seemed to warp around them. Mara's hands moved rapidly, engaging experimental systems, redirecting auxiliary warp energy into shields, creating pockets of stability in the chaos. The crew adapted instantly, every human mind working in unison, analyzing the storm's every response. Then, the Kralith did something unexpected. It leapt beyond the hull into open space, claws extending to grasp one of the storm's massive tendrils. Its armored body absorbed the energy, resonating with the pulses in ways humans had not anticipated. Mara calculated instantly, synchronizing the vessel's movements with the Kralith's actions. Together, they formed an unprecedented bond of strength, intellect, and courage. The tendril pulsed violently, but human strategy, combined with the Kralith's instinct, destabilized it. A feedback wave rippled through the nebula, scattering enemy vessels and creating openings for the ship to maneuver. The storm pulsed again, slower this time, almost contemplative. It had measured the humans and the Kralith, and it was impressed. It did not strike further, at least for now. It was learning, assessing, recognizing the audacity, ingenuity, and courage of humans in ways no other species could match. Mara exhaled, voice calm but resolute. "They are not invincible, but we are relentless. We are humans." The crew nodded, adrenaline and focus sharp, ready for whatever the universe might throw next. The Krolith lowered itself onto the deck, armor plates glinting under the pulsing nebula light. It had survived abandonment, betrayal, and ancient powers. Now, it understood humans fully. Suddenly, a new anomaly appeared, a tear in space, larger than the previous rift, humming with energy that seemed alive, sentient, and aggressive. From its depths, vessels of a type never encountered emerged, black as void, angular, and bristling with weapons that bent light around them. The nebula seemed to recoil, and the sentient storm pulsed in warning. Mara's hands flew across the console. Prepare for engagement. This is the next level. We are humans, and humans survive. Full adaptive mode, every system online. The Krolith growled, eyes glowing with anticipation. It had fought alongside humans through impossible odds, and now it faced the unknown together with them. It lunged, claws ready, armored plates humming, feeding tactical data to the crew instinctively. The first black vessel fired, a beam that warped space as it struck. The ship tilted violently, but humans were ready. Grav field modulators twisted the beam, dispersing energy, and drones countered, sending calculated bursts to destabilize the enemy. The Krolith struck simultaneously, slashing, absorbing energy, and creating openings the crew exploited immediately. It became a symphony of survival, strategy, and courage. Humans and the Krolith moved as one, unpredictable and relentless. Every vessel, every energy field, every anomaly was met with precision, intelligence, and audacity. The black vessels recoiled, unsure, as humans' adaptability exceeded every prediction. The sentient storm pulsed, observing, calculating, fascinated by the human species. It had never encountered beings that turned chaos into advantage, fear into strategy, and danger into opportunity. Mara's voice cut through the tension. Remember what we are. Humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans fight when others flee, and we do not yield. The Krolith roared, armored plates resonating in unison with the ship's systems. It had learned loyalty, courage, and strategy from humans, and now it fought as one with them. The nebula pulsed around them, alive, aware, yet hesitant. The black vessels advanced again, but humans and Krolith moved faster, anticipating, adapting, and countering. Each strike, each maneuver, each pulse of energy demonstrated that humans were not just survivors. They were architects of survival itself. The impossible was their playground, and they thrived where others fell. Mara exhaled, voice steady. The universe tests us, always, but humans redefine the rules. We survive, we adapt, and we endure. The Krolith growled, claws digging into the deck, ready for whatever challenge awaited next. It had survived betrayal, abandonment, ancient constructs, sentient storms, and now black vessels of unimaginable power. And it knew one truth above all. Humans never abandon, never yield, and redefine the impossible with every heartbeat. The universe awaited, vast, perilous, and uncharted. But humans were ready, and the Krolith would fight beside them through it all. The nebula stretched before them, calm now, but humming with latent energy, as if the universe itself held its breath. The black vessels had retreated, their strange, sentient patterns broken, destabilized by humans' relentless adaptability and ingenuity. The ancient storm, once a pulsing, incomprehensible force, had observed, learned, and retreated as well, leaving echoes of its energy rippling through space. Mara stood at the bridge, visor up, revealing eyes burning with focus, awe, and exhaustion. Her hands rested lightly on the console, but every muscle in her body remained tense, aware that the calm was temporary. The Krolith shifted beside her, massive armored head lowering to meet her gaze. Its 3 eyes reflected starlight, and in them she saw understanding, loyalty, and awe. Once abandoned, left to die on a battlefield filled with alien fire, it now stood as a testament to resilience and to humans. The vessel's hull creaked as they drifted past the remains of the nebula's energy currents. Colors swirled around them, violet, gold, and green pulses bending light and gravity in ways impossible to chart fully. It was beautiful, terrifying, and alive. Mara exhaled slowly, voice soft, almost reverent. We have crossed battlefields no one else dared. We have faced ancient constructs, sentient storms, civilizations older than stars, and forces that would break lesser beings. Yet here we are and we endure. The Kralith rumbled low, a sound of agreement, of relief, and of purpose. Its claws left faint impressions in the deck, massive yet careful, a reflection of its newfound discipline and the bond of the humans who had saved it. The crew moved quietly, each lost in thought, yet connected by the unspoken understanding of what they had achieved. Humans had survived where others would have fallen. They had adapted where others would have panicked. And they had proven that courage, intelligence, and creativity could bend even the most incomprehensible forces of the universe. Mara tapped the console, bringing up readings from the surrounding sector. The nebula pulsed once, a final ripple of energy, as if acknowledging their triumph. The ancient storm's echoes were faint now, almost like a whisper. You are worthy. The Kralith growled softly, sensing the energy fade. It had never heard words, yet it understood meaning. Survival was not merely instinct. It was loyalty, trust, and courage. It had learned from humans that the universe could be challenged, even when every force aligned against you. Mara turned to her crew, voice steady, authoritative, yet gentle. We leave this sector alive because we never surrendered. We leave because we adapted, because we fought together, and because we proved what humans are capable of. The crew nodded, exhaustion giving way to pride, relief, and determination. Their eyes shone with the knowledge that they had faced impossibility itself, and had prevailed. The Kralith stepped forward, massive paws leaving grooves in the deck. It lowered itself, nudging Mara gently, a gesture of gratitude and recognition. For the first time in its long life, it had a companion it trusted completely, and a species it respected beyond measure. The vessel's engines hummed, warp coils charging. Ahead lay uncharted space, endless possibilities and unknown dangers. But humans did not fear the unknown. They embraced it. Where other species would retreat, humans would advance, using intelligence, courage, and ingenuity to redefine what was possible. Mara pressed a hand to the console, activating the warp drive. The stars streaked past, elongated into lines of fire and light, a tapestry of the universe unfolding before them. The Kralith pressed close to her, armored plates vibrating with anticipation. It understood instinctively that survival alone was not enough. Humans demanded more. They thrived. They overcame. They inspired. A soft vibration pulsed through the vessel. Not an alarm, not a weapon, but a pulse from the nebula, the storm, and the remnants of the black vessels. Acknowledgement, respect, and perhaps something close to awe. The universe had taken note. It had learned that humans did not merely exist. They endured. They adapted. They conquered impossibility itself. The Kralith exhaled, a deep, resonant sound that seemed almost musical in the quiet after chaos. It had survived the battlefield alone once. It had faced betrayal, abandonment, and the fury of impossible enemies. Now, it had humans at its side, and the universe was no longer a place of fear. It was a place of challenge, opportunity, and relentless growth. Mara's voice broke the quiet, calm and resolute. This is not the end. The galaxy is vast, infinite, and dangerous. But we are humans. We do not yield. We do not abandon. And we redefine what survival means. The Kralith nudged her gently again, a silent agreement. It had learned that strength was not merely brute force, but intelligence, adaptability, and courage in the face of impossible odds. It had learned loyalty and trust. It had learned that humans would go to the edge of the universe and beyond, and emerge victorious. The stars ahead were endless, yet filled with promise. Nebulas, planets, civilizations unknown, and ancient powers yet to awaken awaited them. But humans thrive where others fell. Humans survived where others perished. Humans inspired loyalty, courage, and hope even in creatures built for war and survival alone. Mara turned to the bridge crew, eyes bright with determination. We go forward not just to survive, but to explore, to challenge, and to prove our worth wherever the universe tests us. This is who we are. This is what it means to be human. The Kralith pressed its massive body alongside her, armored head close to her shoulder, and roared softly. It had been abandoned. It had been betrayed. It had faced death countless times. And now, it had humans. And with them, the galaxy itself was no longer an enemy, but a challenge it was ready to meet. The vessel surged forward, warp engines blazing, a comet of determination, courage, and intelligence streaking through the stars. The nebula faded behind them, the echoes of ancient storms and alien fleets dissipating, leaving only silence and the endless horizon. Mara exhaled, voice soft but filled with conviction. The universe may be endless, it may be dangerous, but humans are relentless. We endure, we adapt, and we define the impossible. The Kralith growled once, deep and resonant, a sound that seemed to declare not just survival, but triumph. It had learned the ultimate truth. Humans did not merely exist in the universe. They reshaped it, survived it, and thrived where others could not. The stars stretched before them, infinite and full of mystery. And humans, with the Kralith at their side, moved forward, undaunted, brilliant, and unstoppable. For humans did not abandon. Humans did not yield. Humans defined the impossible. And the universe would never forget it. The Kralith gazed out the viewport, massive eyes reflecting distant suns, swirling galaxies in the faint glow of nebulae. It understood that their journey was far from over. The galaxy contained dangers far beyond comprehension, ancient forces, sentient star systems, and civilizations that would challenge everything they had learned. Yet it did not fear. Humans were at the helm, and wherever humans went, hope followed. Wherever humans fought, survival and ingenuity triumphed. Wherever humans existed, the impossible became reality. Mara placed a hand on the Kralith's armored shoulder. "We are ready," she whispered. "Always." The vessel accelerated, streaking through space, leaving a trail of light that seemed to carve the darkness itself. The Kralith's roar echoed through the halls, a sound of victory, of defiance, and of boundless potential. The universe was infinite. The challenges were countless. The threats were unimaginable. But humans, undaunted, ingenious, and courageous, would meet them all. And together with the Kralith, they would endure, adapt, and redefine the impossible, one battle, one challenge, one universe at a time. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and the humans and their war dog companions surged toward them, unstoppable, unforgettable, and eternal. The universe would never be the same again. Humans had proven it, and the Kralith would stand witness, forever changed, forever loyal, forever alive. Because humans do not abandon. Humans do not yield. Humans define the impossible. And the galaxy remembered.